everybody. Welcome back to the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for joining. Today, we are taking a look at this premium badass. This is the Hot Toys Too Faced 2.0 1/6 scale figure, and I am in love with this figure. There are a few things that I wish they'd done differently, but we'll get to that a bit later in the video. But I actually had a hard time pulling the trigger on this figure. He was in my basket a bunch of times, back and forth, before I finally decided to go with it. And I'm kind of happy I did. There's a few things, again, that I want to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at the head sculpt first. Now this is menacing. I love the look of this head sculpt. I can totally see the actor Aaron Eckhart in this piece. But I also loved the charred version of the side of his head. I know that sounds a little bit morbid to say, but one of the reasons I'd had a hard time deciding on choosing this figure was that I felt like a lot of the reviews that I'd seen and photos I'd seen posted in groups just wasn't quite capturing what I thought the figure could look like. I hope that my video is coming through well enough that you guys get a chance to kind of get the feel for it, because it's actually really impressive. There's a bit of a gooiness to it, which I know sounds really gross, but I think that's cool. And again, the Aaron Eckhart head sculpt side looks awesome. The hair is the only thing I don't like about that head sculpt. He comes with this "I believe in Harvey Dent" button, which is cool because it's an actual button. When you turn it over, you can see the imprint of where the pin would go through your shirt, which is a nice detail they didn't need to add. The coins are really small. They feel really light, a little bit cheap, I'm not going to lie, and kind of hard to see the image. So these little bad boys stay in the box. What can I say? The hands are decent. If you saw the video I did on the Heath Ledger Joker, you'll know how much I loved those hands and how well painted I felt that they were. These are nice. You can still see some veining and some imprintation in his palm. I do like that it looks like a pretty decent skin color. This piece drove me absolutely nuts. The thumb looks like a separate piece to the hand, which completely breaks the immersion for this figure when he's holding the coin. If you take a look at him from the side, he looks like Pinocchio. It doesn't look good. He comes with this hand sculpt, which I keep on the figure 99% of the time, holding the glass of alcohol, which is funny that this figure comes with a glass of alcohol and not others. But again, this is a cool little added piece, and honestly, it looks pretty legit. It looks like alcohol and fluid in a cup. They do a really good job. Now, the reason I mentioned the alcohol glass is just, again, the new Hot Toys Loki figure, the classic Loki that's coming out. They haven't even given him a goblet because they don't want to promote alcohol, but sure enough, this scene in this movie comes with an alcohol glass, and boom, there it is. Appropriate. I mean, I suddenly have the urge to drink alcohol and play with guns. Oh, here's a gun. Beautiful. I like this piece. It's not die cast, it is plastic, but it's still painted really nicely. It's got a really nice shine to it. I like the grip on the handle. I think that's pretty cool. I do think that has a bit of a realism effect to it, and the barrel comes out. You know, you can spin the barrel, which is pretty cool. I think actually making this gun the most realistic gun that I have, next to the Deadpool pistols that we saw in the last video. Now, ooh baby, are these shoes ever so shiny, and the pant material is actually really nice. I like it way more than the suit material I saw with the Joker. Also, the tread on the shoes is just a little detail I feel like they didn't need to give, but I think it looks really cool. The base that this guy comes with has the metal nameplate, so I do think that makes it feel a little bit more premium. And I like the image on the stand, even though, honestly, I never use the stands. I keep these guys standing by themselves, and this guy can do that no problem. Now, some of the weathering on the suit is really, really nice to look at. I love the way that the jacket looks melted. I think the tailoring on the suit's really nice. I like that it hugs the body really, really well. I like that it looks goopy and kind of drippy on the suit jacket, like it's clearly been melted. Now, I would say that some of my biggest beefs with this figure is his inability to pose very well. I'm holding the gun in that position to his head. His arm does not reach that far. The coin here, how he's holding the coin, looking down at it, In the suit jacket with this arm position, that's about the best bend I can get. That's about the closest I can get for him to look in front of his face at the coin. In the angle it's provided at, it looks pretty good. But you can see from this angle that he's not really looking at it. He's kind of looking past it. And because the head sculpt is on a fixed neck, he just can't look down far enough, and the guy can't hold the coin up high enough. So when you have him in a more stoic pose like this one, where he's got, both items down kind of more at his waistline, I think it looks more natural. You definitely don't get the same bunching in the suit, so you don't have to worry about degradation to the suit. But it's a bit unfortunate because this is about as dynamic as this guy gets. In this kind of pose here where he's got his back arched and he's got the gun out flaring a little bit, and I've got the tie flaring out a little bit to give it a little bit of life, almost like there's some wind hitting him. But again, not the most posable. I do think, though, that when you think about Harvey Dent as Two-Face, I don't think of him as a very dynamic character overall. Most of the time he is standing there in kind of an ominous way, flipping a coin and threatening somebody's life. Or even when you think about it, some of the poses that he can do from the movie where he's standing behind the bar with the drink maybe in his hand, just like this. I'd love to see this figure with a 1/6 scale bar. I've seen a few on Etsy that look really cool and got the bar backdrop, cheersing the guy over the counter right before he decides his fate, right? That is kind of a cool story building thing that you can do with this guy. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest reason that I collect Hot Toys, is to recreate really cool movie scenes that stand out to me. Scenes that made me love that figure, made me love the character, I should say, and want to recreate that in my own collection room. Get this guy on a spinning turntable like this, or a Lazy Susan, however you want to call it. My recommendation is don't cheap out like I did. I'm turning this guy slowly on the Lazy Susan. Get one of those really nice turntables that rotates this figure in your collection, because seeing him from all sides really gives me that Two-Face dichotomy that they're going for, which is awesome. So do yourselves a favor. If you see this guy on the secondary market and he's still a good price, and you haven't got a Two-Face in your collection to go with either your Nolan figures or just having a Two-Face representation, then I say grab him if you can. But at the end of the day, for me, I would give this guy an 8.5 out of 10. I really don't love his articulation, but I really like the head sculpt. I like the paint job a lot. I think it looks a lot like the actor Aaron Eckhart, and I love the detail on the jacket. I think it fits him well, and it's a beautiful figure. I totally recommend it, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. So if you liked the video, leave a comment, hit the like button if you can, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys.